Oh, welcome everybody to Celebration Worship. God is good all the time. The Lord is here. And I lit the candle to remind us that the Spirit is with us. Now we're going to celebrate birthdays first. We've got lots of birthdays this week. So we've got Casey and Corey, Jesse, and Jesse's told me lots about his birthday, Xanthia, and Xanthia also has told me a little bit about her birthday, Sky, Riley, James, Rocheldis, and Charlotte. So I hope all of you have had a wonderful birthday. And because we've got some 9-year-olds in that group, we'll light 9 candles. So you ready to count with me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 candles for our 9-year-olds amongst us. Now, we're very lucky because we've got the Ladybirds and we have got Mrs. Moult who's going to play the guitar and lead the singing of Happy Birthday. So over to the Ladybirds.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Brenda. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. From all friends and you. May God's love go with you. Happy birthday to you.
Well, thank you for that, and I hope you all have had a brilliant birthday. So I'm going to blow out the candles for you. Takes me more and more blows each week, I think, children. Well, children, we've got lots of things to celebrate this week. But before we get on to that, I just want to say a big thank you on behalf of lots of our families. Many of you received a brown paper package tied up with string from the Community Centre. And if you received one of those packages, it contained lots and lots of art materials ready for you to get creative. And families have been thanking the Community Centre. And so I would like to say thank you on behalf of our families for providing that equipment which our children have really thoroughly enjoyed working with. So thank you, Heath Local. Last week I talked about our 20 things to do before I leave, whichever year we're in. And we've been inundated with children returning these to school, so thank you ever so much. And just as a reminder, here's Emily. So Emily brought this in this morning, and she has got lots of different activities that she has done, and she's created little pictures for each of the activities. So she's gone camping here, she's got beautiful pictures, she's flown a kite, she's gone on a walk at night time. She's done a wide range of activities. So she's got her 20 activities, and an adult has signed it to say she's definitely done it. And then we've got photos of some of those activities. So it's brilliant. So thank you for bringing that in, Emily. And so that's just a reminder, you can bring them in by July the 1st, please, and then we'll get certificates organised. Now, on our very, very first worship, I talked about learning something new or doing something brand new while you're on lockdown. Well, Jensen did something brand new. Jensen decided he wanted to write to the Queen. And, you know, Jensen received a letter from the Queen. Now, the Queen has very sticky glue on her envelopes, but here is the reply from the Queen. So, Jensen wrote to the Queen and asked her about her pets. And here's the reply that's come. Now, it hasn't come directly from the Queen, so the Queen hasn't written this letter. It's come from one of her ladies in waiting. So it says, "Dear Jensen, the Queen wishes me to thank you for your letter in which you told Her Majesty a little bit about yourself and that you hope to get 2 cats soon. The Queen was glad to hear from you and, although Her Majesty is unable to reply to you personally, I'm enclosing some information about the Queen's pets, which I'm sure you'll be interested to read." So here it is, a lot of information about her pets, and I'm sure Jensen has read that. And you know, when we're back to school as normal, if we have a pet club, this would be brilliant to bring in for that. I am to thank you once again for your letter and for your thoughts for Her Majesty, which is greatly appreciated. Yours sincerely, Susan Rose. So that's a lovely letter for Jensen to receive, and it's brilliant that Jensen thought to do something brand new while we were on lockdown. Now, we've got some children back in school, and those children that are back in school have another celebration worship. So we do one via Zoom, children. So I sit either in the hall on my own or in the office on my own, and I deliver celebration worship. But what we do is the children in the classroom have on their screen an image of me talking to them, and then every now and again children converse back, so they can unmute themselves and hold a conversation with the rest of the school, and they get to show all the things that they've been doing during the week in celebration worship. And this week theirs are going to be sharing some of their work that they've been doing, so I want to share with you some of the ideas that they've been working on. So Lucy has created this lighthouse. So they've been looking at the Lighthouse Keeper's Lunch, and I think you've been looking at that too at home. And so she's created this lighthouse in school. The children also went onto the field and they were looking at trees. So they did some sketching of trees. So I don't know if you can see this one, but James has done a brilliant sketch of a tree, and we can see all the branches and all the smaller little branches coming off the tree trunk. It's amazing, so well done, James. And then we've got this sketch of a tree created by Francis. So well done, Francis, it's brilliant. And so they sat out on the school field on one of those warm days sketching. And also, one of the children, this is Ella from Year 1, she's created a picture in the style of Monet. So we've got an image, and I think that's of our big church, and then in the background she has got the beautiful sky, and it's very much like one of the Monet skies. So well done, Ella. Now, at home, you could have a go at uploading some pictures of some of your work that you've been doing on Showbit for your teacher to see. And hopefully in a couple of weeks, some of you will be returning to school, and maybe you could share some of your work with your teachers and your friends. So children, work really hard this week and think of some of the things that you have done that you would like to share with your teacher. And remember, if you have finished your 20 things to do before you leave your year group, please bring that in by July the 1st. So thank you for that, children. And now it's Reverend Margaret. So thank you, Reverend Margaret.
Hello, children and families. Here we are again for our celebration worship. And here I am again in my study at the Uttoxeter Rectory. I know that the children this week have been thinking about what contentment means and what it may mean for them. And I've been thinking about that certainly over these past weeks and months as we've been in this lockdown, and finding things that make me feel contented, meaning feeling happy, something inside me feeling happy. Many years ago, somebody did something in their life which they thought was going to bring them happiness, more happiness and contentment, and they changed their life completely. And they said to me, although they thought what they were doing was going to bring them happiness and make them more contented, it hadn't. Their life choices hadn't. It wasn't the right decision. And they said, the grass always looks greener on the other side, meaning it looks more green and lush and beautiful. The reality is when you get there, it's still full of weeds and moss. I think our parents might understand what that means, and you can explain that more detail to your children. But I was thinking for me this week, what have I been contented with over these past weeks during the lockdown? I like to sew and I like to knit. And something that I started to learn during before the lockdown was watercolour painting. I've not painted since I was in high school, and that's nearly 40 years ago. However, I started to go to classes, and I have found such contentment in sitting here at my desk and learning how to watercolour paint. Now, I could look and think, oh, look at what Picasso did. Look at what some of the other wonderful artists have done over time, and Monet and Manet and all of the different types of artists. You might have your favourite artist. I'm never going to be like them, and I could really struggle because I would think my paintings aren't good enough because they're not like these famous artists. But I'm content that I'm doing my best to learn new skills. And I'm content that at doing my best, my pictures, although not a Monet and not a Van Gogh and not another really famous artist, they're about me and they're good works that I've enjoyed and am contented that I have done. Jesus tells us that we need to just get on with our life and trust that God is with us, even at times when we're not happy and we're not content, that actually he will carry us through those times. So I hope as we start to unlock and we start to see some sort of life outside our four walls, and certainly as our school gets back to something that's enjoyable for our children, that we will feel that sense of contentment. I found a lovely prayer, and I'm good. So if you'd like to make this your prayer, say Amen at the end. Dear God, St. Mary's is our school. Let peace dwell here. Let our school be full of contentment. Let love abide here, love of one another, love of each other, love of life itself, and love of God. Let us remember that as many hands build a house, so many hearts make a school. Amen. So stay contented with whatever you're learning, whatever enjoyment you're having at the moment. And I look forward to seeing you soon and doing celebration worship again next week. Bye-bye.
Well, children, we've come to the end of our worship, and if you'd like to make this your prayer, would you like to put your hands together? May God keep us safe and happy today and every day. Amen.